press tours organised by the District Council have multiple goals.
The main point is, of course, to make people discover our territories and the values we believe in, but also the wealth and diversity of our activities, whether they be touristic, industrial or commercial, to show the vigor of this territory where we find a lot of energy.
On June 4th and 5th of this year, 10 journalists came to meet leading Finisterrean companies in the medical field. Using a 3D printer and software designed by the company Imascap, surgeons will soon benefit from a plastic guide like this one to insert a shoulder prosthesis in the ideal spot without having to do the operation again months later.
The surgeon inserts the X-ray scan of his patient, and after 2 minutes, the software generates a 3D anatomy of the patient, with a suggestion as to where to position the prosthesis according to the anatomy of the patient. And all this is totally automatic.
A neighbouring startup company has the objective to decrease the degree of imprecision during a surgical operation, which involves aligning correctly the two bones on both sides of the knee.
We have an optical camera which detects in space these reflecting balls. And this will allow us to know precisely in space the position of the lower limb in 3D, according to the 3 degrees of looseness, in rotation, sloping or opening.
Close by to Roscoff, journalists visited a biotechnology company which has been working on cystic fibrosis, Down syndrome and Alzheimer's.
Manros développe ce qui s'appelle les inhibiteurs de kinase.
Manros develops what we call kinases protein inhibitors. The kinases are proteins which regulate the cell division cycle. And we have discovered 20 years ago that many heavy pathologies, such as cancers and neurodegenerative illnesses, were linked to a disorder of these proteins. As far as we are concerned, we are looking for, in particular, chemical substances coming from the sea that will inhibit and control those proteins in order to cure illnesses. At Manros, we are working especially on orphan diseases.
In Morlaix, the press got acquainted with this worm whose red blood cells are very near to humans. 500 kilos of this sea worm could cover France's transplantation needs in red blood cells for an entire year.
Today we are developing 3 types of therapeutical products. The most advanced is a solution called Hemodolife, which can preserve grafts awaiting a transplantation. We are developing a treatment which can oxygenate wounds that have trouble healing. We are also developing a therapeutical oxygen transporter for pathologies such as anemia, a hemorrhage, lack of red blood cells, or ischemia, bad blood flow, so as to oxygenate, in fact, an organism.
The next day, in Brest, they discovered the digital tattoo, a solution to guarantee authenticity and privacy in digital radiology.
The classic security presently in place is mainly transferring data on secured networks. We are going to add and adapt a solution which will guarantee the security of information in every case and everywhere.
The press tour ended at Cézanne, the Simulation Health Center of Brest. Here, firemen, emergency doctors, military men or general practitioners are trained. The center finally possesses next-generation machines to practice, for example, an endoscopy.
To make the connection between the image we see and the tools which we have in our hands, we have an effort feedback. We have the sensation of what we touch on screen.
The center works today on Serious Games, a sort of utilitarian video game. The journalists returned very impressed after these 2 days in Finistère.